PHP podcast. This is episode 86, a bit late in the month, but it's still going. And as always, I have here with me Arthur Sosins from Latvia. Hello, Arthur. How are you doing?
Hello, great. It's actually we scheduled it quite quickly, I think. Usually we had some problems lately, but no.
Yeah. Well, not technical problems yet, but there was some delays because I'm moving between houses. There's a different wall over there, but now there is a diversity elephant here that joined the PHP classes elephant. Yeah, I hope they will make a great team. I'm still waiting for the big one. I I I pledged for a big one. I need to check. Maybe it is something that comes later. I'll check it out. Anyway,
Did,
we
did
are
you
here.
change your did you change your delivery address to new house?
No, this still came to the previous house, but yeah, that's a good point. But anyway, there will always be somebody over there to get it. I just will not be notified if I don't ask. So moving on, here we'll be talking as usual about the latest topics in the PHP world. Let's just give a brief summary, if I can share the screen.
I'll allow you. You can.
Thank you. You are very kind. So I'm not sure. Are you seeing my screen being shared or not?
Loading. No, it's stuck, froze.
Let me. It's probably. Oh, it's. I need to share the entire screen. I guess it's working now.
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, no inception.
Don't ask me. Let's move on. I don't know if depends on the window that I am. Okay, so this month we'll cover, as usual, the latest versions of PHP. I'm not sure what exactly why it motivated this release, but there were quite a few security bug fixes that happened. We'll check it out about this releases. I mean, security releases later. There is also PHP 7.0.21, PHP 7.1, and we have PHP Alpha 3 and Beta 1 that were released just a few weeks ago. And there is also a planned feature freeze after this. Actually, it was last month. It was almost 1 month ago. And now PHP 7.2 is in security fixes mode. Next, we'll comment about yet another discussion of why not PHP does use dot instead of arrow to specify members of objects, classes. This is a discussion that keeps coming. Another topic that we'll talk about is the array equalness operator concept, which will basically allow to check if an array is check if a variable is really set to an array before proceeding to an operation that somehow traverses the array, like for each. Next, we'll have a proposal that is planned to implement what is called the same site cookies. This is to avoid cross-site request forgery attacks. This is, I think it is not yet a standardized feature for web browsers, but I think it will be. So this will be a good thing, and the idea is to support it in built-in PHP. Next, we'll talk about the proposal to support JSON fields in that databases accessed via PDO. Next, we'll talk about an article about comparing two images to check if they are similar. And finally, there will be an article that just mentions the celebration of the 18 years of PHP classes. So, moving on with the actual podcast, starting from the beginning, as I mentioned before, there will be some I would say releases that are meant to fix security bugs, and PHP 5.6 also had a new release which didn't happen for a while. I'm not sure which are the really important security fixes. Probably all are important.
The first one seems interesting, that there are performance problems with processing post. Oh, and you unshare the screen.
Yes, just starting the streaming, the live coding that I forgot, but I'm back.
Yes, so the first one was the performance problem with processing post request over, what is it, 2 million chars. So if your post request, it says chars.
Yeah, I suppose that's what it meant. No, I don't know if I guess that's the limit that you have in PHP ENI. INI.
Maybe.
Yeah, and there is a variable that you can use to limit the post requests that are accepted by PHP in terms of size.
So there seemed to be a bug there, and now it's fixed. So if you're using something like that, posting lots of data, that probably you'll be interested in the fix here.
This is probably to avoid hogging the servers with long requests to the server with that I think that's 2 million bytes, 2 megabytes, I think, and yeah, I don't think that is something extraordinary, just something to take care to avoid servers to be abused. Yeah, from the topics, I don't know which are important, but there is one here that says MP string uses onegorama upstream fix. So I think this is probably a library that is used to implement MP string. I even have looked around on onegorama as a library that is used to implement, I think, a regular expression manipulation in multi-byte strings. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, that name also catches my attention. Interesting name.
Yeah, Japanese name. That's because the author is Japanese. Okay, anyway, moving on. Then there is PHP 7.021 with somewhat similar bug fixes. No, maybe not more specific to PHP 7. And then PHP 7.1 again with a similar set of bug fixes. Now we already have the PHP alpha release, and then there was a PHP 7.2 beta. In this PHP 7.2 is I think the start of the first feature freeze releases. This means that anything that is changed now, it will not add any features. And this was like a month ago. And well, this is just to say that PHP 7.2 is coming close to an eventual release in a few months. There will be a few betas and release candidates before it is launched. But for now, just be sure that any new features will not be for PHP 7.2. Okay, moving on. So now talking about the proposed changes, or at least discussions. There was one that is keep coming again, like the using dot to specify elements.
Yeah, that's always entertaining.
Yeah, people want PHP to be Java. And
I knew you would say that.
Yeah, it's not Java, it's something else. But oh no, it's people want PHP to be JavaScript.
Yep,
Yeah, so
exactly.
PHP, um, I'll say uses the hero character to specify object members, but this has been happening for many years, and people keep wanting to use the dot notation, which is more from other languages. Well, usually this discussion does not go anywhere because there is always the argument that to use the dot character that is used for string concatenation, and this would cause some confusion. So, but still, people want to force it, and even want to plan it to have the arrow for PHP 7, but it will still be kept in PHP 8 for backwards compatibility, and then they want to break the language. Oh man,
Not
it's
going to.
like it's totally not.
Never.
They want to break millions, like 100% of the code out there,
Exactly.
just to use dot. Why don't they do a simple thing, which is to use JavaScript or some other language that uses dot? It's easier to change themselves than trying to change the world. But okay, there's a topic, a thread discussion here, but we are not doing through it because it's always the same thing.
Yeah,
Is
if you want to entertain yourself, you can read through it.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, now moving on to the next topic, which is a more feasible proposal. I
Not.
don't know,
No.
at
No.
least compare with the dot.
Well, a little.
Yeah. What happens? People want to somehow, because now there are several coalescing operators in PHP. They like it's two question marks. Wherever you see two question marks, this means this value or null, I think.
Yes.
Anyway, the idea is that if for some reason you are using an array to do some operations, like traversing the array with for each, if for some reason the variable is not an array, it will skip it, like check here. The problem is that this would like make a bug unnoticeable. Like, why is this code? Isn't this code running? It would silence a bug. So I think this is yet another proposal that would not go anywhere.
Yes. The reason that I don't like it is code readability. So not only it's hard to notice two question marks, well, just noticing, right? It's hard to notice them. You also need to not only notice them but also understand from context that in this case it would check for array and not for null, for example. And
Yeah.
the code readability just goes away with this.
Yes, this is starting to become more and more like Perl, which it's totally unreadable.
Yep.
People are very proud when they save a few bytes to make it shorter, as if we are running out of memory to type your code.
Store code. Yep.
Yeah, no, save me. That was like 30 years ago. I used to do that when I used to program in assembly language for 8-bit computers, and every byte you could save was worth the effort of saving it. That's because the computers only had a few tens of Ks of memory, and so memory was scarce.
Mm.
But we are well over that now. Okay, now moving on to one proposal that is actually very interesting and probably saved the web from a lot of security bugs. It is called same-site cookie. So basically, from what I understood, there is an RFC here. I didn't read the RFC, but looking at this PHP proposal, it's to support what they're calling same-site cookies. Basically, there are cross-site request forgery attacks that consists of, for instance, some content, some forms that are in one site. They could be submitted to another site, and when this happens, the cookies for the destination site will be sent with those requests. So if somebody wants to, for instance, go to Amazon, well, this doesn't work in Amazon these days, but I think it was to work in the early days when nobody knew for sure what were these security fixes, security bugs. Um, Basically, you have a form in one site, and it could, for instance, submit a form to check out a order of some product in Amazon or some other e-commerce site. That would be bad because the user could be fooled to actually submit a form that would trigger an action that it was not intended to submit. So, what is the problem with this? Lots of security bugs happen in many sites because they cannot for sure determine if the user that is there is the real user, if the real user is actually intended to submit that form. So the usual solution would be to have some kind of temporary cookie or temporary session variable that would only exist in the destination site, and if the form was submitted from the real site, the site would know that it was really the user trying to submit the form inside the site. But if you don't have this, if for some reason you have not anticipated that possible exploit, your site may be vulnerable to the cross-site request forgery requests. So the idea here is to have a new flag that is still being proposed. It will be hopefully a standard soon, and all browsers will support it. And it is called same site. This is a flag that goes with all cookies that have this option of same site. And if this option is set, I think, to strict mode, if a form is being submitted from one site to another, the cookies would not go to the destination site because these cookies are flagged as same site, right?
No, actually, yeah, yes, but there are two modes, like likes and strict, and the difference actually I just read between them is that likes allows get request but does not allow post request, and strict does not allow both get and post request. So it means if you set same site strict, our out protocol would not work for your website because it would authenticate through redirect and it would not allow it.
Oh, I see. So, but does this mean that it would work? The Lex would work with
Out,
links,
yes.
With links, because could not be forms, could be links, right?
Yes, exactly.
Links,
Link get requests are allowed.
get requests. So Lex would allow get requests, but not posts.
Yep.
So it would allow links, but not forms with post method.
Yes.
And the strict would not allow any. Okay, that makes sense. So the
Another
proposal
interesting.
is,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, you can go on.
No, just to just say that the proposal is to have these options supported in PHP. Um, some PHP function will become awful, like set cookie with 30 parameters. Well, it's not 30, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and
I lost the count.
some people will say, "Oh, we should have named parameters." I mean, like you have in Python, and well, I'm not sure, but there is another proposal here that instead of having all these options, you could use set cookie and pass an array after the expired parameter
Yes, could make sense.
to set. Now it will become cleaner. Anyway, it's not just for set cookies, for set raw cookie, and also for sessions, because PHP uses cookies for sessions, right? And if all is approved, and I think this proposal will be approved, I think it will be just a matter of enabling an option in sessions uh, to have this feature enabled, at least in the browsers that will support it, which probably will be all soon, if not already, at least the latest versions. But I think that's it. I don't know. What are you going to say, Arthur?
Well, I just wanted to note that as we explained, this is standard, and
Yeah.
it's not like applied. I think only Chrome and Opera supports it. Even Firefox does not support it yet. But still, it's great that PHP wanted to implement it, because I think the same RFC also mentions that HTTP only option was added to PHP 5 years
Yeah.
before that standard came as a standard of having the HTTP only cookies. So
Yeah.
it's okay to add it beforehand.
You're right. Well,
It's not an argument that it's not completely yet accepted for not adding it, right?
yes, better later than never. Anyway, by the way, if you are listening to some noises here, it's that my new neighbor, has, I think, a few birds, and they are quite noisy. And they also want to participate. Probably they are parrots or some other kind of bird.
Yeah, they sound like it.
Yes, it's the consequence of changing to a new neighborhood. I'll go back to the old house. Not anyway. I think this will be a great feature, and hopefully it will be added to PHP soon. I just don't know if it will still be used in probably not in PHP 7.2 because feature freeze happened in the 18th and the proposal was of 7.16 and is still not approved.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I say next PHP 7.x. I don't know if next will be PHP 7.3 or something else. Anyway, moving on, we have another proposal here that is about native JSON array support in in PDO. Now, I don't use PDO. I'll use something more direct based on MySQL. It's still a database abstraction, but I don't know what goes on the PDO world. But basically, what they are proposing here is that you can specify some prepared arrays, I mean prepared statements that have JSON parameters, and JSON parameters are basically strings and that are serialized. So this is for lazy people that just are not able to do JSON encode in the process, and
Well,
also for retrieving the same values from the database results, but also JSON decoding it. And oh, I see. The issue for the arrays is that PHP has associative arrays, and for JSON they are transformed into objects. And if you retrieve those objects back to PHP, they would be created as std class objects and not associative arrays as in the original. So the proposal is to basically be able to convert them back to arrays.
well, another thing I'm just again thinking here that I think I heard that some database like MySQL supported native JSON types, and you could all even query sub documents in similar ways. So if specifying JSON type um, when binding parameters, it could also help probably databases utilize this underneath. Also, on the other hand, probably if the column type is set to JSON, it would understand if string is JSON or not, and would not matter much too. So I really don't know.
Yeah, I guess this is
This
not exactly about that. This is
yeah, probably
just
not.
from video. It's for lazy people because you can always do JSON encode and JSON decode. And when you decode, you control whether the object will be transformed into arrays or std class objects. I guess this is why they are talking about this. Okay. Well, moving on to the next topic, there is an article here, tutorial article regarding PHP image comparison. Artus would like to comment about this.
Yes, let me compartilare my screen.
I sent you the English link, so stop pretending you know about Portuguese.
I want to learn maybe Spanish, maybe Portuguese. I don't know. It would be nice.
You know, there is a nice site for if you want to learn languages. It's called, no, it's not Duolingo. It's Conversation Exchange. You can offer to teach some language you know in exchange for somebody teaching you a language that you want to learn.
No, I'm bad at teaching. I don't have patience.
Yeah, well, that's a free service. That's why it's an exchange. So that's if you really want to learn and practice. Because if you go to a school, probably you learn a bit about the language, but if you don't practice, you end up forgetting. So anyway,
Just move to the other country, live there for a month, and you will learn something.
you will end up practicing, or if you prefer, well, depending on the language, you can just watch many movies from that language with subtitles, not dubbed or something.
Okay, back to the article. It's actually quite interesting. So comparing two images, you know, there is a, I think, functionality in Google that allows you to search not by keywords but by images, and it shows you similar images as a result. So this is something similar. And the author of the article is Vivek Moyo from India, right? And he also explains the usages similar problems, right? So that's actually an awful, not an awful example, but an awful situation. So he says that if you, for example, lost your son and haven't seen him for 5 years, but you have an older photo, then you would want to find similar photos, and that's how you would do that, right? And I think also he created the PHP image comparison class. So there is actual PHP class that can do these image comparisons.
Yeah.
I think my image
Yeah.
internet connection is still no. It's developed by some other guy, right? Akos Nick Hazy. Okay.
Yes, that's a tutorial on somebody else's class.
Okay. And using this class, you can also implement face recognition, which also seemed kind of interesting. So, imagine authentication based on your face. So, the login screen appears, you take a picture from your camera, which also available in the browser, and it compares to your image when you registered and then authenticates you or not. It's kind of I really want now I want to try it. But
yeah, I'm not sure if this would work well because the way it uses is a bit rough. Because
yeah,
what it does is just scale down the picture, so it computes some alias colored pixels. Like if you have a very reduced version of a picture, it will compute the mean between the neighbor pictures in terms of colors, and I mean neighbor pixels in terms
yep,
of colors, and then reduce that way you can roughly get a way to measure how similar the images could be because the colors would be closer.
yes.
I'm just wondering. Okay, good that I haven't
Yes.
lost my son in the last 5 years.
No, but yeah, really, I think the face recognition would work poorly in such situation. But yeah, I just like the idea. But yes, as you said, so it takes images and divides them into the blocks of 8 by 8 pixels, and then calculates the mean value for this block, and then it takes bits of the picture. So it just goes through all the colors. In the pixels and will take a value 0 or 1 if it's higher or lower than the mean value, right? No, like if value is higher than the mean value, it will be 1, otherwise it will be 0, right? So it creates this bit matrix of bits of pixels which are higher or lower, and then compares these matrices between two images, right? So it's not like we compare colors of different images. No, so we compare color of the same image that we generated mean colors for, and generated mean colors for other, and then only compare these matrices. So it means that if you have actually the same shape but in different colors, it would find them similar, or even exactly the same if it's exactly the same for shapes but only different colors. So color would not mean much more for this comparison, mostly difference of colors, and that's I think why it works, and it would work with kind of shape like verification, but I don't know if it's enough for face recognition or not.
Yes, this is not exactly good for authentication because authentication would require something more accurate. Well, not that fingerprint recognition is accurate or high iris recognition would be accurate, but it is more like to perform some kind of search. For instance, you could get the resized image and index. Probably, let's say you could reduce it to 4 pixels, and then you store in a database for 4 values, and you could search for all pictures that match or are closer to those 4 values of colors.
Yeah.
It would not give all the pictures that are similar, but it would kind of reduce the amount of explicit search that would need to be done.
Yeah, to be
Well,
more
that's
performant.
yes, just to reduce the effort to in terms of performance that it would require. Well, this is just to mention that there is this technique. It is not good for applications that require accuracy, but this is just for similarity. So I guess this is good, and the package is in the site, and you can download it, zip file, or install it with the Composer tool right from the site. So that's good for those that are interested in these solutions. Next, I'd just like to mention briefly an article that I have written last month, but it was already 1 month late. It was about the 18 years of age of PHP classes. Just to mention briefly that about what was done in the past and what will be done hopefully it will be done in the next months. I have more ideas that I did not mention here, but I can mention again them later. About the past year, things that changed. There are some new categories that were added for packages, and those categories are about more modern features, earlier like traits, and also packages that implement PSR.
Sorry,
interface.
not sharing your screen.
That's why I forgot, because looking at the screen, I forgot that I was not sharing it. So back to the sharing. I was talking about the new categories. There is one category just for PHP 7 specific packages. Before that, there was one for packages that implement traits, those pieces of code that you can compose your classes from other pieces of code that are not necessarily classes. And then there are PSR packages, which are those that implement standard recommendation interfaces. And if those packages implement those interfaces, they will be classified as belong to those categories. Also, one feature implemented earlier this year is the automation of package submission from GitHub repositories. Nowadays, you just paste a URL from GitHub, and it will automate the submission of all the forms and import of package files from there. It's much faster if you have projects in GitHub, and nowadays many developers have them. So it's like just a single-click submission. It's not a single click, but it's a single copy and paste of URL submission. There is also one thing I have not shown this because it's kind of background secret feature. Let me show you here. Okay, this code. I think it's this code repository. What is this? This is an administration panel. Over here are users that have submitted packages in the past, and they have packages in GitHub, but these packages were not yet imported. So the site flags them as discovered. Regular users don't see this, not even authors don't see this panel. Is that if I look here and I find there is some interesting project like PHP Webcam Fetch, I could go here, link, and send a template method, a message composed from a template, as if it is exactly me inviting the author to import this package, and the person will receive a message with a link. It just clicks on that link, and the import of the package will happen immediately. So this is something to help authors to import packages that probably they had, that they forgot, or they didn't want to expose them. Sometimes those packages are meant to be nominated to the Innovation Award. So I implemented this early this year, and I started inviting many authors to import these packages, and the result is that we had a record of, innovating packages to the Innovation Award. So I stopped using this feature, or else artists would complain with lots of nominees to comment about. The idea is not to force anybody to submit their packages to site. It's probably more to remember that they can have more exposure to the work that they have, but sometimes they get distracted or they work on other projects. Anyway, what I was telling about is that this discovery of new packages from GitHub was implemented early this year. There is also the participation now of INQ and Source Guardian as sponsors an innovation award. They sell PHP encoding solutions and also some security solutions. Soon we have some articles, guest articles from these sponsors to tell more about their products, because the benefit for them to participate is not just to get some exposure, but also tell users of the site that they have nice products for PHP audience. And then I have some section here just tell some plans about the future PHP classes. In about a couple of months, I'm going to finally launch a course to help entrepreneurs to create businesses based on products that they will create. Originally, I planned to focus this on software products, but I think it is too narrow. So nowadays, the course will be focused, or actually will not be focused in anything specific to software development. It will be for general purposes, could be softwares, could be course, could be hardware, could be anything. And as part of this effort, I have now a partner called Rodrigo Vasconcelos, and is a Brazilian, and is a business consultant. And we have partnered in several projects, and this partnership is going quite well. And he is also helping me to start something that is about free mentoring on creation businesses based on products that people will create. So we are giving this free mentoring to people just so we have success cases to show, oh, look here, what we are teaching is working well. And these are the cases that we have applied what we are teaching. So more than just selling courses, we are actually demonstrating that what we teach in the courses really works. And we have lots of people, mostly from Brazil for now, because we are starting in the Portuguese-speaking market, but later we'll expand abroad, probably with another partner. If all goes well, probably will be a well-known partner from the PHP community. And this is just to mention something that is going to happen soon. Another thing that is going on is that as part of this also project regarding creating businesses, there is a tool for search engine optimization that I have been working on, and this tool is also going to be turned into a paid product, and it will help to optimize package and blog pages in PHP classes to get more exposure in search engines. And I've been inviting Cesar Rodas, which was a long-time contributor in PHP classes, to become my partner to also help me develop this product. Is struggling with time. Let's see if all goes well and he can make time, because he has a baby and he's struggling to find a babysitter, and it seems it's hard over there where he is living, at least in the conditions that he wants. But let's see if this is going to work well, and we will release this tool for the benefit of other types of sites, not just what I've been doing in PHP classes. And as part of this initiative of using a SEO tool, I've been creating several types of articles to demonstrate how to use this tool to optimize those articles. So some time ago, there was an article about PHP performance comparison, and this article was actually written by Christian V. Unfortunately, he died. I don't know yet what exactly happened. I just know that he died. It's very sad because he used to be a great contributor, including this article on PHP performance comparison. Then there was also an article on PHP IDE comparison, another article on comparing WordPress security plugins, and another article that is still actively being developed. I mean, there is a script that generates this article, and will be used to update the content of the article. We still have to establish a partnership with book publishers to get more rich content to this article. But all of this is part of the initiative to create reference articles on interesting topics, including one that was already released, but we did not talk yet because it was not really a new article. It was an update of an existing article to also mention PHP source code protection solutions that are commercial. So we had a collaboration of PHP encoder developers like Zend, Source Guardian, and IonQ. So these are the plans for the what is coming up soon. I also plan to have something that I have not announced because it was an idea that came afterwards. I'm going to invite several authors that have developed many innovative packages in the past. So, Arthur, you are one of the people in the list. So we already been invited to. It's like to be in an interview, just to tell about what you did and what are your advice to other developers that want to get good exposure for their innovative packages in PHP classes. Hello, now we are going to comment on the latest PHP and JavaScript Innovation Award winners, this time starting with May. I think May, if I can share the screen, that will help. I'm not sure. Oh, there's the exception. Just because.
Yay, finally.
Oh, now I remember why the inception was not.
Yep, exactly. Because I had the same idea.
It was focusing on you. That's why. Now you understand why. So, well, we are going.
If only we knew it before.
We are going to talk about the Innovation Award winner, starting with JavaScript, but there's something that, because there was not enough, there were some new packages, but they were not really innovative. Maybe we need to work more on encouraging more developers to to post innovative packages to the JavaScript Innovation Award. There were some that were published on May, but they were not nominated. Well, maybe we need to do something. Arthur, do you have any idea?
Well, just wanted to say that it's definitely easier to get an elephant on JS classes than on PHP classes.
We don't have elephants on JS classes.
You see, that's the problem. Yeah, that's the problem right there.
Yeah, that could be a hint. Maybe people need an encouragement. Well, one thing that I plan to do, as I mentioned, PHP, the lately PHP podcast, is that we could have some interviews with authors that have many nominated packages, like for instance artists, and publishers, just an interview just to tell about your work and the package that you have been nominated, and what do you recommend to other users to be nominated. First, they need to submit more packages. Anyway, we could comment just briefly on the Innovation Award winners of ranking for 2017 so far. So far it didn't change, but there are the results of the following month, including in the rankings. Emil Gilad is in first with 3 packages and 11 points. Martin Barker with 2 packages and 9 points. Martin Latter with 1 package 5 points. Jeremy Judo with 1 package and 3 points. Tied with Anders Toth and Arthur Sozins. Then in seventh is Dave Normington from the UK, Tom Loprod from Spain, Leonardo Mauro Pereira Moraes from Brazil, and Emmanuel Podvan from France, all tied with the 1 package and 2 points. So by countries, it's basically, it didn't change much. The United Kingdom is ahead with 5 packages and 17 points. Sweden following with 3 packages and 11 points. China with 1 package and 3 points, tied in third place with Hungary, Latvia, and then France is tied with Brazil and Germany and Spain with 1 package and 2 points. And in 10th, there's the United States with 1 package and 1 point. Now, for the Innovation Award winners of May in PHP classes, there were much more nominations, like 15. Arthur, which ones would you like to comment?
Sharing the screen. Can you see my screen shared?
Yeah, now I can. I stopped sharing mine,
yeah,
or else
great.
we have an inception.
Great. Okay, so the first one I wanted to mention is PHP WAMP Server Installation Manager, developed by Christian V. And basically, WAMP server is Windows. I think Windows, maybe some other operating systems too, but it's a Windows package that installs Apache, MySQL, and PHP and manages their versions. And so this package would allow you to access that information and even manage like switching versions of Apache, MySQL, and PHP, and start and stop and restart the servers. I think so. Not much of examples here. Yeah, so I think that's about it for this one. Next one is PSR7. Basically, PSR7 are specification for HTTP message interfaces, and this class implements those interfaces right down to the specification of having request object, response object, and case-insensitive headers, and adding headers, and removing, and stuff like that, and more than that, and file uploading and streaming. And it was developed by Payam Naderi from Iran.
Yes. And okay.
Yeah. You want to add something? Oh, Uri parsing or
just yes.
Yes. So I actually didn't know there is such detailed specifications about the interfaces, and then now after learning about those interfaces, I'm actually kind of wondering why is it the first class to implement them, really? I thought there would be more.
No. What do you mean? PSR?
No, the HTTP message interfaces specifically.
I'm not sure. Well, basically, interfaces, they implement the same thing, but could be different implementations. So probably they work the same. This is just to wrap HTTP requests and responses, I think. So you could, for instance, forward the objects with the request to another. Maybe delegate the handling of the HTTP request to another process. So just pass the object I'm not sure if that's the case, but that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, the standard is basically so any class or any application that knows it would accept PSR7 interfaces, it would know what to do with the object, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, I also like to comment on the remaining packages after I get rid of the inception.
Yeah, that means I'm not selected.
Yes, that's a sign. Well, on my behalf, I also like to comment first on this Cloudways API class from Sharuz Nawaz. He developed this class to call the Cloudways API to perform several operations with servers hosted via the Cloudways platform. From what I understood, this is a platform for managing cloud hosting, like scaling up to the demand of a certain site. And it seems that this handles the load of a site with one or more servers according to the demands. So this is like an intermediate service that will get servers up and down according to the needs. And this Cloudways API class does that management of accounts and servers and settings to manage the servers that are handling some application on some site. So this is a nice package from Sharuz. So the next package that I'd like to comment, this is more for those that are interested on Apple devices based on iOS to get the version of the iOS build and version codes. I think this is to determine what is the iOS version that is installed, if you need to do some upgrade or not. This package was developed by Peter Kahl from Hong Kong, and he did not pick a prize. Usually, he does not pick prizes. He's just having great fun sharing his packages. He shared lots of packages, 30 so far, and there are a few more still being in the queue for approval. The next package that I would like to comment is PHP Postgres Session Handler. It's basically a session handler for PHP sessions, so it stores session data, but in a Postgres table using PDO. This package was developed by Kevin Shah from India, and it is useful. Most sites use MySQL, but if you use Postgres, you want to store session data in a database, you could use this package. Next package that I want to comment is PHP Continued Code to Names. This is yet another package from Peter Kahl. Basically, what it provides is a translation of the continent names given their code, and it will provide the names in different languages. I think more than 10 languages they are listed here. So congratulations for Peter for yet another great package that is useful if you want to have a localized application. The next package that also nominated by Peter Kahl is called PHP Language Info. Basically, what it does, it's get information about a language, specifically the names of the languages. The names of the language vary according to the actual language that you express the language name. It sounds tricky, but that's what exactly it does. It takes the code of a language and returns the name of that language in some other language given its code. The next package that I want to comment. Yet another from Peter Cal from Hong Kong. This one is season of the year, which is more to determine the names of the seasons, but in different language. Again, many languages are supported. It just passes the language, the season name, and it returns the names of the season in different languages. Finally, the last package that I want to comment. This one is from Lars Molechem from Germany, and he developed a package that determines if a certain word is a stop word, but in different languages. Stop words are usually words that are meant to be ignored when we are doing some graph text analysis. But the actual words in the different languages that are considered stop words are different. So he provides this information for many languages of what are stop words or not. So now looking at the Innovation Award rankings of 2017, so far Peter Cal is ahead with 14 packages in 101 points. He is ahead with many packages that have been submitted, and there are a few more that he has published. And Christian Vig is second place with 5 packages and 73 points. Unfortunately, Christian has died. He is still well ranked, but no longer participating. Then third place is Nahid bin Hazar from Bangladesh with 3 packages and 50 points. Sergei Vanuishin from Russia with 5 packages and 49 points is in fourth. Fifth place, Lars Molechem from Germany with 4 packages and 35 points. Then David Smith with 2 packages and 31 points, followed by Asif Ahmad Abazil with 2 packages and 29 points. Vish Savdev, oh, this is a rough name to pronounce, from India with 2 packages and 27 points, is in eighth. Ninth, Gel Sabrex from Belgium with 2 packages and 35 points. And finally, Alessandro Quintilanev with 1 package and 21 points is in 10th. By countries, United States is still ahead, but now is getting close by Peter Cal, thanks to his 14 packages. United States is in first with 9 packages and 103 points. Hong Kong is second with 14 packages and 101 points. France is following with 8 packages and 100 points. India is fourth with 8 packages and 75 points. Pakistan is fifth with 55 points. Germany is in sixth with 54 points, followed by Bangladesh and seventh with the 3 packages and 50 points. Russian Federation is in eighth with 5 packages and 49 points. Italy is in ninth with 3 packages and 48 points, followed by Ukraine with 3 packages and 30 points. So basically, with this, we reached the end of the PHP Innovation Award, and I think the recording of this Hangout was all focused on your image, because I forgot to click on the
Oh, really?
So we'll be showing in all the images will come from whatever you were talking or screen sharing. So, damn, I forgot. Never mind. If you watch this way, it's fine. If not, you will see the recording. You'll see Arthur's all the time. So basically, we reached to the end of this podcast, and on my behalf, that is all for now. Bye.
Bye.